talking about not necessarily them, but the situation with Neil Lone and her husband. But the situationships and the collective experience we're taking on, that's what we're gonna talk about on today's episode of Blaq Da Beast.
What do you mean by collective?
Okay. Well, I feel like with these relationships, when we come in and try to figure out why the Black community or the male versus female mentality, when all of that step on from that shit, that mess pool, we find ourselves collectively experiencing everybody's relationship. Hence why we're talking about Neil Lone and her husband situationship.
You just don't want to pronounce his name.
I don't know his name.
Ime
Him
Udoka.
and you said it.
He just don't want to pronounce it. It's okay. Here's what I feel about the situation. There is, first of all, there has been more things that has transpired over the last 48 hours about this situation. First off, we plastered a young lady's name across the internet that, come to find out, I think is not even the person that he was cheating. The first
But
one.
how did her picture even come up then?
I don't know.
Was she one of, was it more girls?
I don't know. I don't know if
It
it
doesn't
was.
even matter because
Absolutely
if
doesn't.
Neil Lone don't care, I don't care.
That's the way I feel about it. The reality of it is that then they brought up, first of all, let's rewind.
Okay.
They brought up that they were married originally.
Right. They
Neil
are
Long
not-
and Ime Udoka is not married.
Mhm.
They're engaged. They've been engaged since 2015.
Okay.
They have a son, if I'm not mistaken, together. Then all of this came out.
Okay.
What a lot of people don't know is that the Boston Celtics have been investigating this situation for a couple of months.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Nothing new, okay? First and foremost, anything that, normally how it
Oh,
goes.
now I see what you were saying.
Normally how it goes is that anything like that that's going on, because this is normal, especially in,
Fraternizing.
yeah,
Within
that,
the industry.
it's nothing new,
Okay.
okay?
I hear what you're saying.
Normally that stuff is done in-house. You know, if you want to find somebody, if you want to suspend somebody, whatever the case, conduct detrimental to the team, okay, it's done. That's not how this went. This went something totally left, and it was made a big issue. Some people say, oh, it's because he's a black man, oh, Boston is racist, and that's why they're doing it. It could be a lot of.
Could they been trying to get rid of him?
No, because here's the thing. Why suspend him for a year and not fire him? You
What's
see what I'm
the
saying?
contract?
Doesn't matter. You can fire a NBA coach or NFL coach or whatever professional sport. You can fire them whenever. That's known. And they want to keep him, so you're gonna suspend him, which I don't think they're gonna keep him, by the way, but that's just my own opinion. But you can suspend him for a year. But I'm thinking in my head, why not just fire him? You wanna know why? Because they don't wanna have to pay him the money. So it's a lot of.
He don't get paid on suspension?
He's going to get paid. So the way his go is he's definitely going to get paid. Now, they have already fined him, but he's still gonna get a check.
Okay.
And then, but if you fire him, he's still gonna get a portion of that too. He gonna have to. If not, he can take him to litigation and
So,
go
okay,
through.
so some background mess going on.
Right.
Within the industry. The man made an accident months ago, or the man had a relationship with someone months ago. They already been investigated, and now all of a sudden it's out in the media, it's tearing everything apart.
Right.
Cool. Listen. What this man gotta go through is just what this man gotta go through.
True.
I don't have a disregard on any side, whether the industry trying to mess them over, social media trying to create a narrative. That's not my concern. My concern is why we get so invested in the mess, right? Like, we can find, it's so much stuff going on right now that we can be collective on. Okay, we can be there's black millionaires. Now we all millionaires. Black people are millionaires. Or we all are CEOs. Or we all something black people. We all. But when this mess is all black men or all black women from this one mess. But if it was something great, it's that individual person, right? Beyonce, what's her name? Rihanna is the most, got the most money in her hand, right? And we can isolate that. Let her do something bad, like something stupid. I don't even want to speak on her life, but something stupid, and it's like, oh, black women do that.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
they've already
See
done
how we
that.
become collective on a mess, but then when something real is, was like, oh yeah, that person was so well, so great.
And that's been
that man made a mistake, and that man has been individually handled by that.
That's been my biggest issue. Been my biggest issue with it is why do we, and I think that's part of our topic, is why are we, the minute somebody, man or woman, we do something wrong, it's all. Ime Udoka has this little situation going on. All black men ain't shit. I'm getting tired of black men. I'm getting tired of this. You know, what is it? What woman has done something wrong as of late? Shit. I can't remember. But
when you fucked up like that.
Yeah, shit. You wanna go there?
Who you got?
Who I got? I don't keep up with the celebrity news like that.
If it ever come to you.
It'll come to me. But the reality of it is that.
Lori Harvey.
What she do wrong?
Men were mad. She broke up.
We ain't mad about everything.
With that. That's
how you see. Almost
that's the last one.
Almost turned us
You
against
wanna?
each other.
You gonna go there
Me
regardless
and
sometimes.
look, don't let story turn us against each other. We
You know
didn't
what?
listen.
He asked the question. That's the last one that supposedly messed up.
I don't know Lori Harvey's situation, but I do know that shit, she got a way of getting around. That's it.
I do it.
That's all I know. I just know she got a way of getting around.
Yeah.
Trey Songz, Future, Michael B. Jordan, the list goes on and on.
No, that was the
Look.
list.
Diddy and Diddy's son.
Diddy and Diddy son.
Shit, you
Shut
know.
the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the list goes on and on. So with that being said, I'm not walking around here saying because of Lori Harvey though that all women ain't shit, all black women ain't shit.
Right on.
You see what I'm saying?
I have
Like,
nothing to say.
like I've seen on my post on newsfeed on Facebook, like with this Ime Udoka situation where women were literally saying, see, you cheat on Nia Long, I'm disgusted with black men right now. What the fuck are you disgusted with? Are you talking through your own experiences, or are you talking just
Well,
like,
perhaps.
I'm a black man, I'm proud of it. No, I am not like Ime Udoka. Shit, I probably was sometime in my life. But but the reality of it is that I take somewhat of offense when you say all.
Yes.
And I think every black man should. Shit, every man should.
But see, we don't. We don't
No.
do that. We hear it's so many songs, or even the Lord, we don't. I don't know. I don't, and I guess I'm having a hard time understanding that part.
I think some women got offended. I'm gonna pop it up there. When they assumed it was this lady, it's not her. It has been
Let me see.
loosely confirmed that it's really like the lady who handled his travel and stuff. Like she helped move Nia Long to Boston. That her, whoever she is, but they thought it was the VP of a specific department. When they thought it was her, this person said, "Ime Udoka, we all understand, brother." Some women take offense to that. Like, why is it that if you cheated with a real fine woman, all of a sudden it's accepted?
That's what was being said. It's like
And
Some of them said, "How could you cheat on Nia Long?" Some of them said, "We understood." Like, it's this one guy, and his story was basically like, Nia Long old, a man gonna always want to sleep with a younger woman, that type of situation. So we saw that on the flip side from men. It's just like, dang. So if a-
cheating, first of all, cheating doesn't have a face. Okay?
No, I ain't. Niggas cheat
feeding-
with ugly bitches.
Yeah, cheating
But
doesn't
if
have
it
a
was an
face.
ugly woman, they would have been like, "Oh, he's stupid." Like, no man would have okayed
Here's
it.
the reality.
But because
But
they
they was like,
assumed
it's
she
not
was
worth it.
pretty, they was like, "Oh, well, shoes, I understand."
No, I don't understand. My thing is if you're unhappy, they don't have. They used to say back in the day that women cheat out of emotions and men cheat for looks. That no longer is the truth.
No.
Okay?
Mm-mm.
Men
Because
would cheat
men
for
cheat for
opportunity.
emotion.
Men will cheat for opportunity, he will cheat for looks, he will cheat for a come up, he will cheat because she treats him right, he will cheat whatever he lacks.
He gonna cheat.
Whatever he lacking at home, that's what he gonna go get. Women are only going to still do it because it has to be a connection there. But now the new generation women,
They would cheat
they'll
for
cheat
anything.
just for anything too. They'll cheat for the,
Yeah, they'll cheat for a Birkin.
yeah.
A meal.
So, damn,
Just to go out to eat.
damn,
Yeah.
just for a meal? Is that shit? And she's younger generation.
Wait, no.
Like, cause I mean, not myself, I wouldn't do it, but I've just seen like, or talked to people my age, and they tell me stuff. I'm like, you do that?
But you know
Or
what?
you see people that way?
I
Like,
saw a post this
I don't
morning.
think
This
that's
girl
okay.
told about what happened to her. This guy asked her to go out to get tacos and wanted her to pay for it.
Right on.
I said, he was like, I'm broke. She said, I would have been fine if he would have told me the reason he was asking me. But he asked me and expected it
Her
like,
to
but
pay.
yeah,
He
like
needed the meal.
he just stood at the counter and was just like, but she said, I would have still went if he told me, hey, can you give me something to eat?
Hey, the reality of it
And
is,
she was like, he got a full tank of gas and a Hellcat.
Oh.
But he said I'm broke because he couldn't
I
buy me
think he wanted to see if she'll buy the food.
tacos. Mm.
I think he could have did it, but the thing is, if you offered to take me somewhere, be ready to pay for the food. Like, I think if it was her offering to go get tacos, then okay,
You
she'll
wanna
pay
go
for
out
it.
to eat.
Yeah.
but you know what? Women do that all the time.
Yeah,
believe
that's
it or
what I'm
not.
saying. Now it's
Women
on
will-
both sides.
Women,
It's on
women
both
will
sides
offer,
now.
Men
Women
wanna
will
be
offer
treated
and
the
don't,
same,
and don't,
and
yeah.
That is true.
Women will now cheat for the same reasons men will.
Absolutely. Here's the reality of it is, it doesn't matter how this woman looks with this Udoka situation. None of that matters. The only thing that really matters, I promise y'all right now, y'all probably gonna think I'm crazy, is the fact that he's engaged to Nia Long. That's the only thing that matters right now. Because if it wasn't Nia Long, this would not be a issue that we're talking about. We're only talking about it because it's Nia
We
Long.
wouldn't have any connection to.
If
we
he was
have
married to a
connection
white
to-
woman,
still don't
this
like
wouldn't
her.
be a
Fucking Nia
conversation.
Long.
If he was married to a
Or
white
no
woman,
Nia Long.
this wouldn't be a conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This wouldn't be an issue.
Why would it be a conversation if it was a white woman? Like,
If he was married to a Hispanic woman, it wouldn't be an issue.
those not our heroes, nigga.
Nia Long shouldn't be a hero.
Like, for little black girls, Nia Long was
The
like
fuck? Why? What did she do?
Influential.
What the fuck she
influential
do?
person.
What did she do
That's
out there
the
and make
thing.
some movies?
That's it. It's
Be a
just
black
her look
woman
and
that
shit.
made
He
Nigga,
was a black
it
Best
ain't-
man in
movie she
movie.
ever made was Love Jones, and that was because of Lorenz Tate. You want me to go there?
I don't give a fuck about
All
that.
right.
I love Jones. Let me tell you something. Nia Long, as a dark-skinned black girl on TV in her time, wasn't just some shit you just automatically saw. And she had short hair. Bitches didn't do short hair then.
Okay,
You
understood.
know what I'm saying? She was
Whatever.
a staple of look and a value that women appreciated to see. Now, that's some bitch business. So I don't expect you to understand because that ain't
Understood.
your business. You
'Cause
know
it's
what I
not.
mean? You know
Absolutely,
what
I
I'm saying?
don't understand.
You gonna stay in a man's place on
Absolutely,
that.
absolutely.
Don't fuck with me alone. That's why it's an issue. The bitches went crazy when Jay-Z cheated on
That's what I'm
Beyonce
gonna
too.
say.
Yeah, but they also
It's
forgave
about-
him like that.
No, they did not forgive him like that.
Shit.
No,
They
did
still
not.
hung up on him and Solange in the
They hyped
elevator.
up Lemonade because they thought every song on
Was
that
about him.
album was about Jay-Z. We were mad for a long time. The Beehive was not forgiving him at all. Like
I
it's
can't
the
tell.
same thing that occurred. It's just been years later. He had to come with 444, which was like an apology album to Beyonce. Is how bitches took it, and that's what made it okay.
That's the whole
That's
story
like
they are creating.
start to
though.
finish.
Like, 'cause they don't even for real be writing all their own stuff. So to think like they're talking about their relationship and they don't actually write their stuff.
That's a room for a 30.
And I'm gonna tell you why women are offended. Women be offended because since they look at Beyonce and Nia Long as standards, they like if they get cheated on, I'm fucked.
You was fucking before they got cheated on.
But that's what they measured it
in your
at.
face now, you know.
It's
It's
like
just like-
everybody cheat.
Because that's what they're
Yeah.
inspiring to be like
So-
when that person is being
all right,
cheated
so
on
let me-
too. So they're like, okay.
I gotta let my hair down.
Like
for
if
this shit.
yeah, like it ain't.
An ugly nigga like Jay-Z who got lucky, like that's
That nigga ain't look. Hold up.
that man.
Hold
ugly
up.
as fuck.
Hold the
And
fuck
before
up.
you
Let me
make
get this
his
hair out, man.
finances,
Hell no. Hold on.
if Jay-Z wasn't Jay-Z and
Hold
he
on.
looked the way he looked, ain't no bitch fucking
No,
with him.
that's not necessarily true. We know the money. We know it's always gonna be a woman that's gonna try to holler because he got that paper.
Yes, I'm
See what
not
I'm saying?
saying that. I'm not
He got
saying
paper
that.
and power. He got the two. He good.
That I'm not saying that. But that nigga on the strength of looks, like, no, sir. Period.
Everybody
Uh-uh.
don't go for looks though.
I know they
But
clearly.
some
clearly,
ugly people
women-
can.
Women
stand up
don't
nice.
even look at looks anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a problem. 'Cause
That's
then
the
they get
issue with the
cheated on
new
by
life.
niggas
Like,
that look like
it's like
Jay-Z.
money,
That's the
power,
problem.
and status is all they care about. That nigga can be goddamn me,
I don't see
Biggie
it.
Smalls, God rest his soul. But it could be Biggie
All
Smalls
of
and
that
they don't
shit
care.
was factual. Yeah,
That's just weird.
he
to
had
me.
the women. He had Faith Evans and a whole bunch. Like, yeah, women don't give a fuck as long as you
That
got a
motherfucker
dollar.
goddamn stuttered in his sleep. And they was still want him. Lay
It's
up
just
on her.
certain things
everything.
about people
So
do.
what's the reality of this? The reality of this is that women don't care about looks anymore.
You know, well,
And men don't either.
So you don't like how they eat.
Cause
Yeah.
men will lay down with a, yeah, he'll lay down with a,
Sauces.
I don't, I got enough backlash last week, so I'm treading on thin ice. Everybody hates me now.
Be
So,
yourself.
absolutely.
Be
But
yourself.
I don't give a damn, sis.
I know you
But, yeah, it doesn't matter, but the issue is that it was like people, like she said, it was people were, long as the woman looked good, they were okay with it.
Mhm.
But if she looked bad, then now they wanna hang him on the goddamn rope.
Yeah, 'cause we're a shallow society.
That's fucked up.
We're shallow. We're very shallow.
That's fucked up. And then this is kind of like what we was talking about off camera. This is the issue that I have with us, is we create mess
Yeah.
because we don't know their circumstance.
Mhm.
Obviously, if you read an article, I don't have it to where we can pull it up, but I read an article that Nia Long was interviewed on.
I'm gonna pop that up.
She made it very perfectly clear that she has no intentions on marrying this man.
Oh, you talking about that one.
Okay? She had no intentions on marrying this man. So that means that, yes, y'all got a kid. Yes, y'all have things together. Y'all only see each other 6 months out of the year. And that ain't just because of business. That's what y'all chose. She recently just moved to Boston a couple of weeks ago. That means she ain't never been in Boston, other than maybe coming to see him from time to time. So it's obvious that they were in what I consider a situationship, in my opinion. So what's the fucking issue?
Unconventional relationship.
Unconventional
Open
relationship.
relationship, yeah.
So it's somewhat open. In the article, it also says that, hey, he do his thing, I do my thing. I'll let you read it. But this is all her talking. This ain't him, it's just her.
I think the issue comes in
When
What
you're
the
embarrassed,
issue- what?
when you're embarrassed, that's when the
I
issue
wasn't
comes in.
going there.
But
but-
it's because it's okay, long as this shit ain't public. But then when it's public, now I don't have any recollect. This is all catching me by shock. I didn't know. You might not have knew who the bitch was, but you knew what your nigga was doing. Because that's the agreement that y'all had. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now what we're doing is throwing goddamn me fuel on the fire, because we're making her look like she just didn't deserve this, guys. She shouldn't,
Exactly.
this is some
People create their own
bullshit.
narrative, though.
That's bullshit, because it's probably been going on in y'all household.
But you know what's bullshit?
Wait, so I found what she said. She said, love is complicated. Let's just start there. Then sometime later she says, and then you start a marriage, which I've never been married. And there's reasons for that, because I don't know that I need to say I do to prove that I love you. But also, what does marriage really mean? That I own you now, and that you own me now and I own you? I don't get that part. So they might have been in an actually committed relationship. They just didn't need marriage to say that's what it was.
Mhm.
So it doesn't guarantee that it's open
Yeah.
at this point
But
with
it
what
also
she
doesn't
said.
also guarantee that, well, that means she's very immature on what marriage is, because marriage has nothing to do with ownership. But, I digress.
It depends on
You know what I'm saying?
people look at it.
I digress to that, because when I marry you, I don't look at you as if I own you. Like,
Yeah.
I have married
You
people in
don't.
this room.
Some
Do you
people
look at
do.
your wife as if you own her, now that y'all married? Do you look at your spouse as that you own her, now that y'all are married?
No.
It doesn't make sense.
But
Like,
isn't that your wife?
What?
Right? And you're my wife, like you.
but nobody's
mine,
gonna, like,
She's yours.
but that don't mean
you're
ownership,
her.
sis.
It's not ownership, but you're mine.
Mm-mm. You're taking that wrong.
No, it's just how people, it is what that is. it ain't no ownership. Like, yeah, I don't have.
Because
to
I'm not
make
gonna say this is
decisions
our
about
wife. The fuck?
it. No, because it's just
You know what I'm saying? Like,
my wife. I don't own her in a tangible way, like a fucking
Like to mistreat
wallet.
her.
It
But
ain't
it's
a tangible item, but this unity is mine.
understood.
That's the understanding.
But that's
So-
taking ownership in the union. That's not taking ownership in the person.
But that would be her question. So what you're saying, you now own me, and I know, but we're gonna live life together.
Basically, what it sounded like what she was saying in there is that she didn't want to put a title on what their relationship was. Understand that. But there's somewhere in there where she's also saying that, hey, we don't got no title on it. We ain't together all the time. Something like some 6 month shit. It's not concurrent 6 months. It's not straight up 6 months. It's like we see each other when we see each other type shit. I don't know what commitment that is.
We don't, and that's still my point. We have absolutely no idea what type of relationship they have. We have absolutely no idea if he's wrong within that situation.
Right.
We have absolutely no idea if she's bothered by the situation.
Oh, she's
All
definitely
we
bothered. She made
have
that perfectly
Is
clear.
this social world of what you said, stress, mess, and sex?
Mm-hmm.
That's our world. That's what we're talking about. What I would be more excited to know is what's the distraction for? Why
Why do we care? Because it's like, it's a whole big narrative that we are creating that we have no idea about their life, what they do, nothing at all. So it's like, we all saying how we feel about it because we're matching it to what we're
our
familiar with.
experience?
But it has nothing to do with what a celebrity's life is like and who they intertwine with and what they do.
Okay, so we ain't gonna give them too much more glory. I don't like that shit. So, why men ain't shit? That's what I wanna get to. So now the reality
men
is
aren't
like,
shit.
why do women publicly say niggas ain't shit because of something that happened with
You
a
know what?
celebrity issue?
Okay, all right.
Because they familiarize it with their personal experience
We're
and match
projecting
it
that.
to their person they idolize.
Right, so they saying if she finna get dogged out, I'm for sure gonna get dogged out, and that's why niggas ain't shit. Because she don't have a shot, I don't have a shot, and they ain't giving us a shot. That's why they have that broad thing. But see, we grew up hearing in every song, right? When rap from the moment rap was discovered, we became bitches.
Okay.
I
Bitches and
remember
hoes,
bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
bitches
That
ain't
old
shit but hoes and tricks. And look, I can still sing it. I can still sing like it's a melody. It's not a fucking melody. They've been calling women, mislabeling women our entire
MC
life,
Ring?
and we didn't have to go out and say, we had to listen to the music, like the music, sing the music, all that shit, and still not identify as those bitches. Why men get to see us as the bitches and the hoes and the tricks,
Okay.
right?
Keep going.
So you get to grow up saying this and growing that mentality. We get to grow up saying and then have a whole nother mentality on what that actually is. But then you hear these men doing shit and you gotta have that reflection. These are the men in the dating pool, her dating pool and my dating pool. I ain't found happiness, she ain't found happiness. I'm getting cheated on, she getting cheated. These are two different pools. This is a celebrity pool and this is a social basic bitch pool. I'm sorry,
She
girl.
said, yeah.
I'm
okay.
saying a regular pool,
Okay.
a
Yeah.
jacuzzi pool,
Right.
Thank you for making it nice.
and the niggas are the same in the pool. So when they have a conversation, they saying niggas ain't shit, right? And what y'all gotta do is make that disconnect as we had to do as little girl. Y'all can do it, cause we did it from little girl.
I like controversy, so I'm not gonna do it.
We was children and having to say, we had to pop and drop and lock to these songs and not think we was that bitch and hoe. So y'all gotta think y'all ain't that nigga she's speaking on.
Ladies, y'all answer this for me if y'all on the line. So,
if
why is
if
it-
it ain't you, it
Why
ain't
is it
you.
that the song and your homegirl and all them motherfuckers can call you bitches and hoes, but the minute a nigga call
Cause
you
you
bitch hoes,
can't.
you
Just
ready to
like
fight?
they can't call y'all bitches and
You
hoes.
stay in a man's place. That's some bitch business.
Just like
Don't worry
a
about
woman
it.
ain't gonna come in here.
I'm not interested in it, but I just wanna know, like, why are you
It
so
don't
offended
matter.
now?
Just
It
like
don't matter.
a woman has
Oh, it does
never
matter.
called you a bitch. I
No.
hope a woman has never called you a bitch. But I assume a woman has never called you a bitch because you don't carry that type of
Nobody
energy.
gonna call me that in my face.
No one would ever just call you a bitch, right? And that's the same respect women deserve from men. You should never call me a bitch because I would never call you a bitch.
I mean, but unless
You can call me a
acting
bitch because I can actively call you a bitch.
Did me? Nah.
But if you don't want me to call you a bitch, I advise you not to call me a bitch.
You don't
'Cause
want-
as
you
soon as
don't-
you say bitch, I'm gonna say what bitch?
You don't wanna be punched.
But that's male and
Nigga, you
female
all gotta be
dynamic.
tased. The
That's
fuck?
female and male dynamic. You don't call a male
Right in
no
the
bitch,
nuts, boy.
especially not no pussy. And a man shouldn't be walking around calling no woman no bitch, and especially not no pussy. Words that we can exchange that's probably derogatory is nigga. You can call me a nigga,
That shit
and I
get
can
me
call
mad.
you a fucking nigga.
That shit get
You
me
can
mad.
call me, no, you can't, we don't even exchange stupid like that.
It's
You
a
get what I'm
double,
saying?
it's
certain
so
words.
many double standards,
we-
it's going back to last week, like
But
it's
that's our
it's-
world.
But
Our
we're two
world
different
is built
bullshit.
on that.
some
But
bullshit.
you know
We're
what?
two
It
different
is
experiences.
bullshit, but it's the only shit that we find entertaining, man. It's the only shit that we find necessary to drop our real life for to do. Cause what we can do, we can be coming up with a family bank. We could be coming up with goddamn a tax standard. You should be at a standard. We should know LLC. We should know real shit, but we don't know that. Oh no, that's too much to fucking comprehend. But what we can do is get into somebody else's life that got some mess, some stress, or that's having sex. That's what we can do. Oh, we zoned the fuck in. But let a motherfucker be up there talking to one to teach you how to run your business. Oh no. Oh Jesus, no.
Mm-mm.
That's not entertaining. That's not gonna stimulate you. That's not gonna distract you neither. And whatever all this is for, it's gonna bite us in the butt later when we say, God damn, they don't understand. That was the same week. We was talking about Nia Long and her husband, and all the plants was on fire.
Or they just signed some bill.
Or they just put bleach in
all.
all the drinking water. They just, like, we're gonna miss the whole thing, and I feel like that's the pond, is to give us something that can distract us, and this is it. And unfortunately, we, as commutators, and we wanna have our show and our podcast, we have to discuss
Bullshit.
the mess, the stress. And when we have the most views, we're talking about sex.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to my TED Talk. Thank you guys for attending.
It's the weirdest shit ever.
That's our world, man, and it's whack. And it created a robotic system where we so used to this same routine is that we would naturally give it and give into it. We'll imitate the shit we see on social media and on TV and in movies. We imitate it all and then look around and say, yes,
So is it safe to say?
that's the shit we was just watching. Oh, my homegirl was going through that same shit, and that becomes the most interesting thing. But it's bullshit.
So it's safe to say, I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but y'all know I don't care. It's safe to say that we clowns.
Big clown puppets. What I said, puppets.
We clowns. Black people are clowns. Cause that's all we care
I
about.
mean, it's people. Our mess is our mess. Other races have their own mess,
You do.
but our mess is ours. True. And what we decide to use majority of our time for is bullshit. You know what I mean? And then within the Black community, what we decide to pour our attention in end up being bullshit. But every race have that thing. I wish ours would change. Fuck making it a. Go ahead,
I got a question. What part do y'all think that groupthink plays in the gender roles that y'all are describing?
What does the group thing?
Groupthink, like
Group think like the collective.
yeah, the collective thoughts of women
Yeah.
and men. Like
When it's messy,
yeah,
when it's
like,
messy. If we were just talking about marriage, they wouldn't make it collective. It'll just be about married people. You get what I'm saying? They wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, cause my marriage. They're gonna be like, yeah, cause married people be doing that, and married people should do. They're not gonna include them.
Got a response to that.
It's in the fucking shit.
Right. Lance was talking about earlier about how he was on how there was a podcast, right? And then his partner had a porn star on his podcast.
Mhm.
And they weren't even talking about nothing, and it was like 100,000 views. The moral of the story is the only reason it was 100,000 views because he had a famous porn star on his podcast.
Right.
All right? That's exactly what we're talking about right now. So I would say if I had to give it a percentage, about 80% of black folks, we're more interested in the mess. I know people that have podcasts that's talking about your business, how to grow your business, ain't getting a lot of views. I know people that have podcasts talking about how to better your marriage, ain't getting a lot of views. And what people will use it as an excuse is I'm single, so I ain't really gotta listen to nobody that's talking about marriage in that podcast. Okay, well, I don't have no business, I work 9 to 5, so I ain't gotta listen to this about how to grow your business. No. It's because it's not interesting to you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I give you a better example. The most highly anticipated movies that we go see are movies that are about mess. Most of the time. Or, okay, I'll give you a better one. The most highly anticipated movies that we talk about on social media is the movies that's on Netflix, Amazon Prime, that's about some bullshit. Something that we can relate to. The newest movie right now that they're talking about is the man, I don't know, it has a white man on it, glasses, a young white man.
Dahmer.
Yeah, so
Dahmer.
now we're talking about this
It's a
movie.
real person though.
Right, but they're also talking about, I don't understand, somebody posted the other day, I don't understand how y'all not like P-Valley, but y'all watching this. You see what I'm saying? Whatever that movie. I don't know, I haven't looked at it. I don't know anything about it.
It's two different kind of movies,
Jeffrey
but
Dahmer, he was a
Yeah.
serial killer.
And
Right.
if I'm not
But
mistaken, most of the people he killed were black people, or black men.
black men.
Yeah.
But just to
Right.
even keep
So,
the same
controversy.
You're saying, is all those podcasts talking real things and doing it? No, they don't want to see that. You don't want to see that at all. But if you talking about some messy or some stress, oh yeah, people gonna tune in, and that's our world right now, and that's what we're talking about. How come it becomes collective when you wanna be involved in the mess? Like for Neil, like this marriage or this situationship. How many people in that type of situationship?
A lot of them, believe it or not, they just don't know.
But they got an opinion about it.
Right.
They want to, they got an opinion about, oh, is she mad? Is she not mad? Is he wrong? You got all these people. That's not your situation. That's just not. Just like you didn't feel like you had to go into that marriage because you ain't married. You ain't got to get involved in that relationship because you ain't in it.
And the only reason this is a big deal is because of us. Trust me. The other races talked about it for a day, they're done with it. We're the only people.
We want to
still-
know all the details,
we're the
what's
only
happening, how she
You,
feels.
black people, you wanna get you a private investigator, hire a black person. Cause they gonna get all the information for you. Especially if it's something messy. They gonna get all the tea.
I would
Because
desire that to change for us, because for what? What's it
How?
doing? What's it doing for
how
you?
does it change?
No, yeah, what would be
What
your
would change
suggestion
this?
Oh, I'm
to
not
Is
a
it-
psychiatrist at
help?
all.
I
have no
can,
idea.
I got one, I can be a psychiatrist for a
I'm
second.
not a psychiatrist.
If we sweep around our own front door,
Mhm.
if we focus on our own shit, because here's the weird thing about us talking about people and their situations and situationships, is that they're relatable. Here's the fucked up part. Believe it or not, everybody that's talking about Ime Udoka and Nia Long, everybody that talked about Jay-Z and Beyonce and all of this shit, believe it or not, they've either went through it or going through it. And that's why they wanna talk about it. Or maybe not. But here's the reality of it. Majority of them have either went through it or they're going through it. And now it gives you, instead of trying to fix your own shit, it gives you something to talk about, which I'm really talking about my shit, but I'm talking about it through their shit.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But I'm going through this same shit too. I'm sitting down at the house with a nigga that I know just fucked somebody last night. But I'm still in the house with him, laid in the bed watching TV. And guess what? Nia Long and Ime Udoka is a perfect example of why I get to publicly talk about my own personal shit through their shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And these are the same women that says niggas ain't shit.
There you go.
So it's safe to say they have dealt with an ain't shit nigga.
There you go. It's all making sense now. Now we're talking.
So it,
Now we're
they
bringing
said,
it all
"Oh, you
together."
not shit.
Story.
It
So
makes
let-
it a
so-
fact.
so sis, let
What
me
she
ask you
asking
this.
is, if she's talking about her real experience and they're talking about their real experience, is it so that niggas ain't shit?
Cause technically they are dealing with,
A
Ain't
projection
shit
of they
nigga.
own ain't shit nigga. Oh man.
Yes and no.
and is plural because that's
Well,
a
no, wait.
public one ain't shit nigga, my ain't shit nigga, and the other thousands of women collectively saying ain't shit niggas.
But if I ain't shit then and you still stand with me, what that make you? You ain't shit either.
A victim.
Not
No, fuck that.
necessarily. Not
Fuck that.
necessarily.
No, you ain't
So-
shit either.
But let's
So
focus
she's
on
not
him
shit.
though.
She's not shit for staying.
With the
You ain't shit. Because
Okay.
here's my
That's
reason why.
Fine.
Here's my reason why.
That
Okay.
doesn't make
So
me- you know
everybody
what?
always say this. Give me
Of course
I'm
I am, but what are you? That's what that just gave.
absolutely. But I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this.
I know you are.
So when
Yeah.
women use this term all the time. Dang man, all he had to do was leave. If you want to cheat, why not just leave? You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But if you know I cheated on you, why not you just leave? You stand.
Wait a minute, but you know, that's
The
only like
ball
a
was in
certain
his court first, though. If he
percentage.
was
Doesn't
happy,
matter.
though,
Two
right?
people, two things can be true, like my good friend says. So
We finally have Eva
doesn't
here to hear us.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who leaves. If you're unhappy, then do what? Leave.
I'm
But
with
she
you
was-
on that.
This is
She
not
was
a
only,
competition.
wait,
With
but
you on that.
she was only unhappy, or we're not talking about Nia at this point, y'all. We don't know how she feels. But the woman who got cheated on is now unhappy with him because of what he did.
Absolutely.
So
why
she-
not just
Cause
leave?
and effect.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
He,
he could've said
as a
something
man, he
like-
had the opportunity first. I'm not happy at home.
This
Let
is
me
not a
tell this
competition.
woman.
It's
No, it's
not
not
a
a competition.
competition.
I'm
It's about
saying
communication
he
and
had the
honesty.
he had the option first. Hey, babe, I'm not feeling this. It is what it is. We're gonna call it quits. I'm gonna go do what I want to do. Now, if he gave her the opportunity, hey, I'm finna go smash this broad. You could stay if you want to. Then she has that opportunity. But he had an option first,
But
Is she? Hold on. Is she not hurt?
huh?
Answer the question. Is she not hurt?
once she found
Hurt?
out,
Hold on.
after
Is she not hurt?
After, yes.
She's hurt. She's crushed. She's whatever word you want to put in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
She feels like we're just talking about a woman who it don't matter who it is. You can just put your own name in there for all I care. She no longer wants this relationship to go forward. That is your out. This is not a hey. You cheated on me,
She don't want
so
the relationship to go any further because he has cheated.
and that's
She was
fine.
prior
That's
to
fine.
this.
But why stay? If you're ready to
But
leave,
we gotta first
leave.
answer. We gotta
But
first.
you know
what- you know what
Wait,
that
we
is
gotta
now?
address the first thing first.
It's him giving
That-
her a problem
but
that she
that's-
gotta make a solution
But
for.
that's the thing.
But that-
Dion
why
asked
crush
at the
somebody?
end, he said, if you're ready to leave, why not leave? She's not ready to leave. That's why she's not
She was
leaving.
fine in
And
the
I know you
relationship
did
until-
something, she's going to try to get over it because everything was perfect until you decided to do this one thing. That's how anything works. Everything is fine until it isn't.
Yeah.
And if you're the one that's responsible for that isn't, I need to figure out if this is something that I can get over. It depends on how that person value cheating as a no. Some people really do value a man cheating once as just a mistake. That's how some people see it. So if this is my first time finding out that you cheated, I'm going to try to get over it to see if I can.
Mhm.
It's when resentment starts sitting in with her ass, is when I then find women to be in the wrong.
So this is
Right.
the issue.
Because
with it,
now
and I agree with you
now you
1,000%.
resent him and you
I
make a
agree with you
house
1,000%.
hell.
So a lot of women don't know when that R word,
Yeah.
when that's coming. So
Agreed.
now you're making me try to jump through hoops that got fire around them.
That you
Just
can't even
and that
do.
there's goals that you're trying to put in my way now that are unattainable.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're wondering why I stopped trying.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So now,
but we still, but we
Let
keep
me-
talking
let me-
about the
let me keep
woman's
going.
side.
No,
What about
I'm not
first
putting it on the
thing?
woman. Now I'm talking about a man, because
Okay.
I've been in that spot. So now you're trying to get me to jump through these hoops. Like, I get up in the morning, I try to kiss you, you turn your head. When I
After
come
you
home,
cheated or
this is
before?
after. So now,
After you cheated,
After you made
this is
a
what,
decision,
we're
so
going,
y'all-
we're going somewhere. We're
Okay,
going
go ahead.
somewhere.
but she decided to stay. and
She's
kinda
trying to
work
stay.
through it.
She's trying to stay and work through it.
Okay.
But now, what you're trying to do is make me go through a goddamn fiery furnace
Mhm.
just to get your love back.
Mhm.
And you can't get mad at me if I don't wanna go through that fiery furnace.
Right.
But that's the issue. There's a lot
But
of,
that's where it's back in your court. You can leave. You can say, you know what? No, I'm not interested in you or her at this point. Or I'm not interested in jumping through hoops to prove anything to you. I did whatever I did, and I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna fucking go.
Mhm.
You staying jumping through those hoops because you're telling her you would prefer that was a mistake for you.
Right.
You would prefer to stay with her. So you telling her you prefer to stay with her. She's expecting you to work and show her you prefer to stay with her because what you just showed her is that
when
you
does
did
the
not.
forgiveness come? just because you
But
decided to
you know
stay?
what? The forgiveness would have
Fuck
came
out of here.
if you
I
would have
think
told her
when-
prior to the
No.
I
mistake.
think,
No.
I think
You
here-
could have
here's-
started that immediately. Like, hey, I'm in a spot.
Where did the forgiveness ever come?
But that's,
Because I don't think
that's
it
the
ever
gag.
came.
Why you need
That's
the
the gag.
forgiveness? Do
What you
wanna
mean,
be
why
there or
do
not?
you still need to forgive
I-
me in order for us to move
No.
forward?
No, I
'cause we
don't.
I do not.
I gotta decide. It's a decision. And that's one thing that I do give to women. When a man says he's sorry or a person say they sorry, you say it's okay or you choose to forgive them. Quotation marks around forgive for the people on the chat. You choose to forgive them and you really don't. Like, why not be honest? Be like, thank you for your apology. I ain't never said you forgive that.
It's
You'll
still
know
pending.
when you are. Right,
Yeah.
still
I'm
pending.
still processing.
And
the
you
whole thing.
then have to choose, now
Well,
it's
this
your
is-
decision
so-
to choose
so
if you
hold
wanna
on.
wait for forgiveness.
This is where I have to disagree. First of all, forgiveness is not for the person that you're trying to forgive, it's for you. That's first
Bullshit.
and foremost.
I
That's what
disagree with that.
Well, that's fine. We can argue that in a minute. We can argue that in a minute. The issue is that
Now I gotta forgive you for me.
you don't.
I do not.
You don't, but you do.
I don't.
Okay. You ready to do this now or you wanna do this later?
I
So,
want that
here's the
one.
reality. Here's the reality. Here's the reality of it is that in order for us to move forward, then forgiveness has to be rendered. Has to be, if we're trying to move forward. What I'm not gonna do, and I'm just talking about Dion. Forgiveness comes, and you just say what you said, hey, it's pending right now, that's what you said. Then I'm gonna say, well, my work is fucking pending, and I ain't finna do it until you show me, or until you at least give me.
That's stagnation now because you did something.
That's fine.
You did something.
It won't
That's
be
fine.
forgiven
And the
for
next day,
another-
But I'm not running through a wall because you're telling me it's pending.
Hey,
You wanted to
let
do
me
it
say it.
anyway.
And then I'ma just say I'm out.
A man like Dion,
I'm okay with that.
And
a
then-
man like Dion should just say, hey, I cheated on you, it was nice.
We shouldn't do
Sorry.
this anymore because
And
you
that's
think-
it. Like,
That's it.
and that's an option too. Like, you can hold yourself accountable and know that you should leave.
And
I've
you
been
don't
there.
always need
You know what I'm
forgiveness
saying?
I've been
for
there.
it.
Like, I get that.
I've been there. What I'm
But
not
that's
going to
some
do,
toxic shit.
I know, but what I'm not going to do is I'm not gonna allow you to
I ain't
threaten me.
never,
Ain't no
I cheated
No,
on you.
I've been,
You
no,
can
let me
forgive me
explain to
for you.
Let me explain to you.
and that's it.
I did it, I
Nah.
cheated,
Hell
and you
no.
threatened me with divorce.
Mhm.
I'm the type of person, I don't do threats very well.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? So when you put papers on the table, I'm going to sign them others, because I don't do threats. I come back months later and you're telling me that was a tactic to see if you wanted to make this work.
Well, were you not threatening
You
them
got an
when you
option,
made the
I got an
decision? You were
option. All
threatening
the
the
time.
entire thing
Mm.
too by making that
We
decision.
both-
No, my
have
decision is
options.
my decision. If that's what you want, then I'm gonna sign it and go and be done
No,
with it.
she's
just
saying
don't
you
make-
threatened the relationship when you cheated.
Exactly.
Absolutely,
Like
that's the chance that I took. I got it. I got that. I'm
so you
understanding.
presented to me, and now I have to forgive you automatically
No,
to
no,
continue.
no. You do not.
You don't have to forgive me.
You do not.
He cheated.
You do not.
She decided because you cheated, I'm gonna go ahead and divorce you. So she, in her heart, decided that's my deal breaker. I'm over it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the papers. To him, that's what you want. I'm gonna sign it. Yeah, you have a choice.
So
Okay,
you don't
but
want
I
to
don't
work.
have
this is-
any-
But they really
No,
didn't.
it's
Hold on.
not
But they
about
really
working or
didn't.
nothing.
They really didn't want it. It was more so of a,
That's
I'ma
a
see if you
lack-
really wanna fight.
Well, that's a lack of
You understand what I'm
maturity
saying?
on her
Understood.
behalf.
At that time, maybe it was. But the
Yeah.
reality of it is that there's still people out here that do that.
Yeah.
So my thing is that you gotta, all right, communication is everything, okay?
Yep.
I cheat. Let's just walk through this for a second. 'Cause
Wait,
I think, hold on, just quick, give me
yeah,
one second.
no, you good, you good.
Let's walk through this for a second. Let's all just, it's safe to say, 7 people in this room. We've all, how many have been cheated on? So show of hands.
Oh.
Okay, E-Man, you in there? How many have been cheated on? Knowingly been cheated on? Okay, hands down. How many have
Must be
cheated?
nice.
How many have cheated? Okay, I've been on both sides of the spectrum, so let's walk through this for a second. Cause I don't think we really, when emotions get into it, I think we all start thinking individually, rightfully so. I cheat on Story. Story's my girl. I cheat on Story. She finds out, let's just say shit, let's just make it the way it is in normal life. She finds out through social media, somebody hits her up in her inbox, all right? She has an assumption that something has probably been going on, but this kind of nail in the coffin made it what it is. What we don't do relationally is now she's already thinking about what she's gonna do, blah, blah, blah. She's on her side. Now I'm thinking about what the fuck finna happen. Shit, let me go and get my shit, cause this finna be ugly. We never sit down and have that conversation about what has transpired. It automatically goes from 0 to 100. Can we all agree with that?
Yes.
Can we all agree with that? Nobody in our culture, I'm only speaking with the black community, nobody in our culture is actually sitting down and having a conversation, married or just in a relationship.
I did
Sitting-
though.
You want
I
out of
did.
you want out of Benny, sis. Sitting down having a conversation, talking about, okay, so you cheated. What are we going to do? How do you feel? What made you cheat? We're not asking any of that shit.
That comes
Let's
after.
be realistic.
Most
Come
of us,
on, y'all.
let's be
Let's
realistic.
be
Most of us,
realistic.
we flip shit first and then
Yes.
talk after.
Exactly.
I think that's probably the general consistency.
Right.
But
And
I
the-
did not.
so we get there.
I did not. Matter of fact,
So we-
the other
so
way
we've
is more
already-
alarming of me.
Right. So we've already identified that nobody is doing that. So let's just say we go to 0 to 100.
Yeah,
Now everything done gotten messy.
I'm throwing shit at you.
Right. Everything done gotten messy. Now 2 weeks later, now we're over. We done separated, moved out, blah blah blah, whoop de woo. Now you want to come back. You want to revert back and have a conversation that we should have had first.
Oh no.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, that part is what, cause I had the conversation the same day.
I don't think you,
Not-
I don't,
not two
I don't
weeks
think you
later,
can
I
do
already
it.
talked
I don't
to you
think you
at
can
that
do it maybe in the day of finding out. But what I'm saying is before we go ape shit, a conversation needs to be had, and it doesn't. We go to social media, we go to mama, we go to best friend, we do all this other dumb shit before we actually go to each other and sit down like mature adults and say, what are we going to do going forward?
Agree.
And we don't do that. So guess what happens? Then you get into these situations. Now it could have been salvageable. It could have been with a conversation. Somebody told me that a couple of weeks ago. A lot of things in the black community could have been salvageable, could have been rendered if it was only for a conversation. We don't do that. We go out, we go off the deep end.
React first.
Exactly. We're very reactive and not proactive. So we go off the deep end, and then later you want to come back. Or later you see a person in passing, like, well, I ain't even really mean to go down like that. Bullshit you did. You reacted with your emotions, and there's no coming back. I don't want to talk to you personally if you done all these heinous things to me and threw my shit out, or I done threw your shit out, or we done got into an argument, police had to be called, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to talk to you no more after that. You see what I'm saying?
I see you different.
Exactly. So it's like nobody's really, so the reason why our cheating, mishaps, issues are so ugly in the black community and so messy is because nobody sits down and have a conversation. Here's the thing, even going back to the Nia Long situation. He never had a conversation with Nia Long. That's why it's so ugly right now. It's because he said, no, it's known that she basically said that, hey, this shit caught me bombarded. We didn't know, blah, blah, blah. So they didn't have a conversation either. So the reality of it is that nobody's doing that C word. We just go off the deep end. Normally when a woman finds out that her dude has cheated, whether it was real or whether it wasn't, let's just say you found out through a homegirl. Let's just use that for an example. She immediately goes off the deep end, and she don't even know if this shit is true. All she knows is her best friend and called her and said, girl, I seen such and such and such, such and such and such. And nigga, when he get home, he about to get the business. You're not sitting down like a civilized black person should supposed to be and actually having a conversation. You're just taking this person's word for face value, and now you finna go wreck shop.
Somebody asked, so you
It's
couldn't
emotions.
have the same combo before cheating?
Right.
No,
The
nobody's
same-
having that same combo because the
But they
reality.
not
Hold on,
communicating
hold
from
on.
the start then.
Yes, but hold on. Here's the reason why we're not having that combo. Not with black women. This is my opinion.
Okay.
If I sit down, and I've done this, if I sit down and said, hey babe, I'm not happy. You know what I'm saying? Sex life, it's not great, blah, blah, blah. I feel like, or you got me feeling like, because we're not collective, we're not together, whatever you wanna call it, like I wanna cheat. You wanna know what she's gonna do? She's gonna go off the deep end, and she's going to think that I've already done it. So no, to answer that person's question, hold on, to know, To answer that person's question, no, I'm not having that conversation before I cheated, because the reality of it is, if I have that conversation, she's gonna think I already cheated.
So
But
what?
wait. But either way, it's going. No,
Y'all
listen.
playing with me.
Listen.
Yourself
Either
an option.
either
Don't worry,
way.
I'll fight
have
this
to
battle
be-
by myself.
Do
Listen.
not have to be a cheater.
Wait.
You can give her that option, and even if she say, so who's the girl? It ain't no girl. I'm telling you where I'm at now.
She's not gonna believe it.
But
no
if
matter
you're gonna,
what she believes,
you're gonna deal
it's
with
your
strife
choice
on
and
either
your
side.
option.
I'm gonna deal with
Because
strife on
what's
either side.
happening-
You're right.
so
what's
why
happening-
not pick the side
What's
that
the-
gets you out the relationship in the first place?
Yeah,
Why
you
not take the one
already
where you
unhappy,
take the lead? You're
right? So if you gotta take to her, hey, I'm unhappy, and she thinks you already cheated, I'm already unhappy. It don't matter what the fuck you think.
That's very true.
I came to tell you my feelings.
True.
Now you got your options based off my feelings. You can come up with your own fucking set of options.
So let me ask you this. When a man comes and tells you that he's unhappy,
Mhm.
how do y'all not know that beforehand? Don't answer that yet. Here's the reason why I asked that. Sex is the most popular thing. Blaq said it earlier, that sex gives people attention. So let's talk about sex. You've been in a relationship for a year.
Mhm.
You ain't had sex in 4 fucking months.
Mhm.
And you just walking around the fucking house. Hey baby, how you doing? We ain't fucked in 4 months. Let's keep it 100, man. Let's be realistic about this shit. Because it's a situation out here.
But
You
there's
know we
two
ain't, hold on,
sides.
you know we ain't doing nothing.
And
And there are 2 sides.
There's 2 sides.
But there's 2 sides. There's one side that has identified that we ain't doing nothing, and there's another side that's acting like everything is fucking Frankie-go-lucky.
But why haven't we gotten to that point? Because there is affection and things like that that goes into place in order to
have sex.
have sex. And men don't
And how
realize
did you
that.
get
They
to
just think
4
you're
months?
ready to go all the time. But there's work to do.
We
Like
had
there's
that
actually
discussion.
things to do so that I feel the urge to do it. Because half of the time the woman doesn't even get satisfaction from the intercourse.
That's a whole issue for me.
But that
That's
is
that
true.
is a whole that
So
is
she
a whole
doesn't. She's
issue.
not so ready to go
If
like
she
you.
gotta let you masturbate
So
with
why-
her body,
so
why
no-
can't you
no,
put
you're
in
not
some
gonna get in
work?
this
No,
conversation.
I am gonna
No,
get in
you're
this
not going to get
conversation.
in this conversation. You
Well,
absolutely
how come,
cannot.
How come you can't put in some
You're
fucking
always
work?
against
and
it.
No, I'm not against
Yes,
it.
you are.
I
You
am.
are.
It's just real as it can get. It's just what it is. Yeah, you need something, you want something, and there's a way to get it. Motherfuckers don't just gotta give it to you because the world said you want sex every fucking day.
And we
Fuck
together.
that.
There's things to
What
do.
happened to the intimacy? What happened to our connection?
We're
How
not
did we-
talking about
How did we get to fucking 4 months? You ain't feel this way at a month. That hey,
Look.
can I, you wanna come sit on me? Can I come fuck with you? Hey girl, nothing came up into the 4th month?
I'm just asking a question.
But they
I'm
just see it
being
from
And
one
that's-
side.
and
We
I'm
ain't did
answering.
this in 4 months.
What happened to the
But
communication?
I'm saying, like, I've been
about
dating you,
how
I've been
time?
going out, I've been showing you intimate, I'm there.
Really?
But it's okay.
But you're not
Yeah, this is
communicating.
real. This is real out here. This
But are
happens.
you?
This
But
happens.
you're not communicating it. Say you want, yeah, you're going on dates and you're doing shit. Tell her, girl, I'm trying to woo you. Huh?
Are you not wooed?
How can I make,
How can I woo you?
I wanna connect with you. What am I missing?
It's a lot of
Huh?
work.
What's the conversation like? Your communication should have been extensive at the 4 months. We done talked about this 50 times.
Exactly. Like men realize
months.
that women are emotional beings and they go by feelings,
If
but
you
you don't
want it
realize that she
every
gotta
single
feel
day,
like doing that in
this
order to
Is
do
conversation
it.
there such thing as women getting comfortable in relationships and feeling like they don't have to
Thank you, man.
meet those standards for their man need?
Thank you
at
for
a
coming
certain
in here.
No,
point?
because I think women enjoy sex just as much as men. But
Bullshit.
there is
You
things-
just told me that they didn't.
Women
Listen.
do.
Bullshit.
Women
Bullshit.
do.
You told me, hold on.
Yeah,
Stop.
good.
Stop. You just told me
No,
that
no,
I
no.
got to jump through this goddamn light
said
right here
men
in order to
don't
get a
always
piece of ass from
satisfy
you.
women.
That's what you just told
No,
me.
that's
Men
not
don't
what she
always
said.
You
satisfy
told me
women.
woo me. I gotta do all this other
No,
shit.
no,
What
no,
about
no,
there's
no,
other
no.
things to do?
I'm
There's
saying-
intimacy.
That's
There's let me
it.
hold your hand in the fucking park. I'm
No.
doing all of that.
That ain't,
That's not.
But I shouldn't have to ask you for
That's not
something like
intimacy.
that.
Alright, so
though.
what about
That's
what
not
about
right.
if the dude ain't pleasing you, he wasn't pleasing you in the beginning?
Yes, he most likely was. He was getting you those little things that made you happy.
I'm still doing those little
that you like
things.
to do.
No.
So
You're
doing
just
every-
I'm
distracted.
talking about sexually. I'm just talking about sexually.
Okay.
Like, if he ain't pleasing you sexually, sometimes women will still give it up in the beginning, and then over time,
It's
it'll
different
taper
during
off.
that time, I think. I think during that time she is in
It's
that stage
new.
of everything is nice to do together. So we're doing it. But
It's
then
that new
as time
shit.
go by, she's realizing, okay, he's finishing sooner and sooner. Each
The
time.
fuck?
He's doing this different.
It's all about him now. It ain't about her.
It's
at
not
that
So
point.
why won't you have that conversation if you feel that way?
Men don't always
Dot.
take it. Men do not
Dot.
always
I'm
take
not
that
gonna do
conversation.
Dot.
Men does not. They
I just
don't
wanna hear what
always
you're gonna
take that
respond.
conversation the same. Like you.
So
try
you
and
feel
tell
the
them-
same way I feel about
You
some
can
shit.
try and tell
When
them.
I talk about the cheating, you basically giving me the same response that I just said. When I said about
So
how
you
the
don't
woman
have
asked,
conversations to
exactly,
spare their feelings.
exactly,
Okay.
to
fair.
spare us.
That's what it is.
Avoid a
You avoid
conversation.
conversations to avoid
Sometimes.
hurting someone else.
Sometimes I think sometimes you do
This
pick
is
and
good.
choose if you want to.
She's very vocal.
Do you want to take it there today? Because it's like sometimes like you bring it and it's like, nah, why did I even bring that up right now? Like everything's going
But
good.
you have a need.
And you do too.
Yeah, exactly. And but as a man, if you're a real man, you want to please your mate, okay?
Yeah.
That conversation should never be a hard conversation.
But it is.
Ever.
It's like cheating
Ever.
and what you want to eat today and money. They all are hard conversations. Love.
Men, when
It
you
don't
bring things like
translate
that up, they're
well.
like, so what? I'm not good enough. I'm
Somebody
not doing
gonna
this
feel
enough.
away.
Like they start to feel like very self-conscious about the way that they're performing now. Now it's a weird thing to even have sex because you think everything that you do is wrong when necessary. It's not that necessarily. It's
We
like I'm just,
Build a connection. Build
there's
a,
other ways. Like there's
learn
other
about
things
it.
you do.
I'm-
What?
There's other things and other ways to women. The way
Keep talking. Go ahead. Keep talking.
the way that she thinks, like the things like that goes into her, I don't think a lot of men actually pay attention to a lot of those
Teach
things.
them.
that-
Teach them.
Teach them.
Every woman is different. She can't give a recipe
No, I'm
for
saying,
one
I'm
person.
talking to her directly at this point. I'm like, so if that's a thing with a man, that's to all of you all, you know, well, y'all.
Well, any type of relationship, you're teaching them how to really be. It's
Just
with
like
you
I'm teaching
individually.
you how to be
Yeah,
with
even
me.
with friends, everybody. You're
But you
teaching
gotta
them how
also
to
make
be.
sure that y'all are on the same page, because
Definitely.
how I want you and how you want me might be different, so we probably shouldn't even be going that route anyway. But you do it anyway.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? So now, we a year into a relationship. You was never pleased. You never communicated that.
Yeah.
So now it's an issue.
Yes.
What
That's
makes a woman
bullshit.
stay in
Because-
that type of
because the-
situation where she not happy, so she not putting out, so it's just a cycle.
Because
But-
it's a transactional situation.
That's the
Every-
bullshit.
Yeah, but why not leave the relationship?
Well, 'cause
Hey, that's
you're
what I've been
not-
saying for the whole time.
She's probably not sexually satisfied, but she's satisfied with you
In
in
other
another way.
areas.
She's satisfied with probably having a man. She's satisfied in having someone help with something. She's satisfied in some aspect
But
of
what
that
about having a
relationship.
partner
Come
that's
on,
not being
Blaq.
Now, when that
satisfied?
relationship starts to change,
But
now
in the same
this
situation, your partner not being satisfied.
at the same, yeah, you both probably missing something,
Yeah.
honestly, and it's not being communicated because of the sake of hurting the other person's feelings. Because yeah, you probably like her and she like you too, and y'all do have fun together. But this little area right here is.
But that
probably
little
not-
area is a big area.
That,
Right.
big,
A huge
that little
area.
area becomes a really big area when you're going into a different part of your relationship.
It was
So
always a big
say,
area, sis.
Say y'all get together and we in a new relationship and the fire is kind of high. We're feeling it. We're learning each other, and it might not even be good, compatible all the way around. But you feeling each other out. You learning each other.
Yeah.
Right? So a year in, y'all have been learning each other. You don't know shit about this person. Y'all
You still
12 months
learning.
in, so you still really don't know nothing. But now y'all have a relationship that's moving. So now we're growing, we're going.
But y'all
And-
had sex, right?
Yeah, we've been having sex for 12
So
months.
why not we have these conversations, them hard conversations
Because
early?
we was learning each other within that 12 months. I was
At the
just
beginning of a
hoping-
relationship,
at
I don't
the-
give a fuck if I hurt you or not, as long
That
as I'm
is a
getting
long
what I
time.
need to get out.
That is a long time. However, when you hoping things change and y'all become more compatible and connected somewhere in there. Like maybe I could be teaching him. So at the 6-month mark, it's all right, but it just ain't what I want. You get what I'm saying? And now you're gonna give
And
it
at
some
that
more time.
point-
You get what I'm saying? You giving time to learn. You giving time to develop.
You giving too much
time.
motherfucking grace.
You giving a lot of grace and time.
Shouldn't be, though.
For a
Instead of
relationship
accepting
you think
what it
you
is.
want.
Yes,
It's,
thank you.
it's a relationship you
Just
think you
accept what
want.
people
It's
are
not
today.
there yet, but you can see the
Always.
potential, and you working towards that potential. It's when you start doing those check-ins at those random times, which y'all should do often. How we doing? Any fears, worries, and concerns? What could we be working on? Those should be having often, but they ain't been had often. So at the year mark, when you saying, well, shit, I ain't had an orgasm in 7 months. Or I ain't had an orgasm in whatever. Yeah, you should have been communicating that. But that was along the lines where I was letting you learn my body so that you can perform at the best of your ability. Because I want you to be satisfied. So I want you to do what you need to do during sex. I'm just hoping you consider that I like something else too. You understand? Am I making sense to you? You get what I'm saying? I don't want to keep
talking and confuse you.
I'm not confused at all.
So within that relationship, whether it's male or woman, you giving that person time to learn your body. Let's say if it's a man with a
Wow,
huge,
so can I stop you there?
yeah,
Stop,
no,
let me,
no.
okay.
Say it's a man with a huge penis, right? The first few times she fucked that guy, she ain't gonna be satisfied at
It's
all.
very
if she
uncomfortable.
like horse penises or used to that type of pressure. However, if she's not, she got to learn your dick. She has to stretch her body to your dick for her comfortability. She don't know if she like that motherfucker until 2 months later that she can even handle it. She don't know if she like it because she's still trying to figure out if she can handle the dick. You understand?
Processing.
So she got all this time to change her body to what her body needs to be for your body. You ain't gonna know that shit at the beginning to say, hey, we had a good time. We done had sex a few times. Yeah, I think, no. She wanted to see if she can please you. She like you. She like y'all conversation. She like how y'all look together.
Yeah.
Y'all kind of got the same taste in music and food. This can work. I just gotta figure out some shit, right?
Gamble.
I gotta do some shit.
That's
And
a
that's the
fucked up
same
gamble.
thing that's happening vice versa. He hoping she can grow into something that he sees the potential in.
No, because
She's hoping.
if she can't perform oral sex like that, I'm gonna tell her that she don't perform oral sex like that. And if
Well,
I'm not satisfying,
and-
hold on, if
in
I'm
that
not
area-
satisfying her in that area, then she needs to tell me
In that
that
area-
and why I'm not satisfying her, and I need to decide on if I can adjust
Mhm.
to that or not.
You
But if you
should.
never tell me and you wait till a year later, dog, I'm gonna be highly upset with you because we could have been to have that fucking conversation.
You absolutely right. The communication is needed, but for the sake of you not want to hurt shorty feelings or
That's
whatever.
some bullshit.
Well, baby,
That's called leading me
cover
on.
your teeth, huh? Or maybe try to open. You're gonna try to give suggestions first before you say, "Hey, girl, your head is whack. You ain't sucking my dick no more." No, you gonna let her suck your dick 2 more times. Then you say, "Try this next time. Try that next time." And then when that don't work, just like, you know what? Fuck it. But she knows that you had an issue with it, and she had to work on something. Now we both know I ain't got the mouth. for
Sis,
what
you're
what
young,
need.
you're in this new generation, so.
She is 25.
She's young.
20. They
I know,
all the
y'all ain't
same
got-
age.
Why don't y'all have those conversations early? She answered it. She answered it. No, stop that.
They are.
Stop
You
that.
are.
Stop that.
I don't
So
give a fuck what you think.
here's the reality.
Listen, 20-somethings is a strange fucking place. You gotta figure out who you are, what you like, what sex is, what type of fucking sex you like, who you getting the sex from. 20-somethings is hard as fuck. It ain't no, because you in your 20s, you know life. Fuck no. You too busy trying to figure out how to pay the fucking bills and what job you gonna have. And if you just finished fucking school, like, no. You are a child. We are children until you have mastered financial stability, communication skills, comprehension skills, emotionally intelligence, and stability.
Then we all fucked up.
Yes, we are all fucked up. At 30-something years old, and you have not mastered those things as an adult, you're fucked up. We're all fucked up. And we're trying to figure out those skills to be an adult. An adult. Those characteristics make you an adult, not your age. It's 50-some-year-old people right now living with their parents.
No, I understand.
It ain't your fucking age, you're a child. Until you can master those things. Period. I don't give a fuck if you had kids, if you finish having fucking kids. I don't give a fuck if you survived 20s, 30s, and 40s. If you have not mastered the art of being an adult, you're just not. Fuck what you can do, get a house and all that shit, vote and all that. Fuck that. Can you be a decent adult, a civilized adult? Can you teach somebody out here? Are you? No. So yeah, even if it was me right now that haven't mastered all those things, then I'm a fucking child.
Communication.
Well, no,
That's-
just because you are at
Comprehension
an
too,
age,
because just because you communicate doesn't
Don't
mean
mean
anything. They have to
understand.
actually comprehend what you're
You
saying. You
have
could
to
be
know how to
saying one
comprehend.
thing and
And
the
they
person
hear
is hearing a whole other thing.
I really,
you
I
have
really,
To
But
truly,
avoiding the conversation is something
totally
different.
different.
I don't even think
People
a lot of
need
the
to
times
be
the
willing to have
Hard conversation. Thank you.
Exactly,
Thank you,
yeah.
brother. Thank
It's
you.
not being unwilling to have hard conversation. I think people.
Don't
are
spare my
willing-
feelings. Stop
I
that
don't
shit.
think it's a spare your feelings. I
It
think it's
is.
like-
She said it.
sometimes because
Stop that shit. Stop sparing people feelings out here. Tell a motherfucker what it is. That's why people don't like me. Because I tell you like it is. And I don't care how it comes off and I don't care how it makes you feel. At least I was honest.
Yeah,
That's very
Respect
true.
my honesty.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? What y'all are doing is massaging shit. I'm not massaging shit. I'm tired of that. I'm 38 years old. To massage something at 38 years old is almost like I'm trying to avoid it. I ain't trying to avoid shit. I'm hitting everything head on.
That's what they're doing, avoiding an uncomfortable conversation,
what again?
avoiding
Boy, they seem like that.
emotional, emotional damage. You're avoiding things that we have to address to grow, to
Do you know how
heal
many
from.
people are in relationships right now only because they're avoiding the hard conversation in the
Absolutely.
relationship?
Definitely.
Absolutely, I would, the 75% of relationships.
That's the fucked up part about it. So I'm dragging somebody along in this shit
Yes.
because I don't want to have a hard conversation.
Yes.
That's
It's unfair
fucked
to both
up.
parties.
Hmm?
It's unfair to both people.
Yeah, it's
unfair
fucked
to
up.
the person that's unwilling to have the conversation too.
Yes.
They being unfair to themselves.
Because you got me out here thinking that we're happy and that everything is good. And you're really unhappy. But you're stringing me along. You
But do
walking me
really
like a
think
dog.
But that's
Everything
what,
is good,
that's,
though?
wait, pause, but
Huh?
that's what,
But that's
Like,
exactly
during
what I was
that
saying
time,
earlier
because
about the
you
4
can-
months.
you
You
can
actually think
realize-
4 months is, we ain't had sex in 4 months and you think
So
everything
that's
is
the
good?
conversation there. It's like from both sides, we both know that something's off. Like you don't want to have sex with me in 4 months, and I haven't even given you sex in 4 months. So it's like a conversation there needs to be had. It's not just like both people are just kind of oblivious to that there's an issue here. Like that's being ignored there. That it's 4 months that we're not even dealing with the things that we both require to be with each other.
And you know what people
Yeah.
blame that shit on now? Life. We got the kids, or my job, or I just been
That's
busy.
always there.
That's some bullshit. 'Cause that ain't gonna never go away. Thank you.
Exactly.
That's not gonna never go away. So what we're doing is we got time every night when we lay down in this bed together.
Yep.
We got time. That's when really we need to be having conversations. Is when it's about right time. You in the bed, I'm in the bed. We're about to get ready to lay down. So then when I say, hey babe, I want to talk to you, I can't say I'm just too tired to have this conversation. No, absolutely not.
Too tired to talk.
That's the perfect time to have that conversation.
Yeah.
We might have to go to sleep mad, might have to go to sleep with some questions, but it is what it is. At least we know we had the conversation. But what people do is people lay down with each other every fucking night
still
and
avoid
not
it.
have a conversation. You know damn well I'm horny. You know damn well I want some too, but y'all ain't gonna even have a conversation to where y'all can open up the table and say, you know what, let's try this thing again.
Yep. And then time goes on, it get worse.
And then I cheat.
And harder to communicate.
I'm telling you what's happening.
but
This
wait,
is real life.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, when
This
you,
is real
you
life.
just said the whole
Shit,
uncomfortable
I'm keeping it 100.
conversation,
Dion,
why
so-
I'm keeping it
not?
100. I'm cheating. I'm gonna come lay in that bed every night
But that's,
after I cheated.
but that's the problem, you
damn.
just said, people,
Communicate.
they in relationships
You
that they
said-
shouldn't be in, cause they don't want a conversation.
Dion
Tell the
said-
bitch, I'm tired of your ass, I'm finna go fuck somebody.
Look, I told her that in sign language.
Every-
Goddamn.
No, you did.
Dion
After
said
the
everything
fifth night-
perfectly to just still be an Asian.
To still not have the conversation.
Like, I know all
Like,
this.
look,
I gave you time to have the conversation. You didn't want to have this shit.
But you didn't
You-
either.
You didn't either.
You decided to make a decision and not
Look,
talk about it. And
I'm
now we
real.
gotta deal with.
Hey,
And
this
then
is
you
The
then
work
you
that
bring
you do.
all this other extra shit in when you cheat. You bring in disease, you
Hold
bring
on,
in
time
other
out,
bitch
time out,
feelings, you bring in a lot of shit.
Time out. So now, hold on, because I want to get this shit straight.
What is
So
it, man?
now that I'm gonna just say just 'cause this
Yeah,
this
might
is
as
imaginary,
well.
but I'm
This is imaginary.
goddamn me. Now it's been 4 months. We ain't did shit. Neither one of us had the conversation, so that's on both of us. Now I done went out there and cheated.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm public enemy number 1 because I cheated. Not at the fact that we still never had a conversation about the fact that we ain't been doing shit in 4 months.
Well, now we're
You're
still not
no,
gonna
but
do
now
it.
you
That's
have
And we're
fine.
not gonna
wait.
do it all now.
Now
You made a decision.
wait.
I've at peace with the fact
But
that
now
you ain't
you've
giving
done,
me none no more.
but now
Fuck
you
it.
wait, but now you've done 2 things wrong. You not only didn't start the conversation, but your answer to not having that conversation was to add another issue into it.
So let me tell y'all how this thing called an enemy works.
What?
Since y'all wanna go there. No, y'all wanna go there, so I'm gonna go there. So let me tell y'all how the enemy works. The enemy knows I'm in this relationship and I've been with this woman for whatever, and we not having sex for 4 months. You wanna know what he's going to do? He's going to just whoop, drop this woman that I'm attracted to, that we click, because he's gonna put her in a position to where I have no other choice but to conversate with her, whether that be goddamn me the gym, whether it be the grocery store, whether whatever. He's gonna put her there, she's gonna be attractive, she's going to like me for who I am, she's going to wanna do everything under the sun that I wanna do, and he's gonna catch me in my weakest moment. And I'm gonna have to sink or swim. And a lot of times, 90% of the time, I ain't gonna even lie, a
Sink.
lot of men sink.
Titanic.
Because they can't resist the temptation. I'm not saying that it's valid. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying none of that. But I'm just telling y'all how the enemy works. Is that's what he's going to do. He's gonna catch you at your weakest moment. He knows goddamn well that shit at home is fucked up. So guess what I'm gonna do? It's the same situation with Adam and Eve. Same situation with Adam and Eve. He
Mess
knew.
it up even more.
I'm gonna,
Mess it up even more. Mess it up even more. But the reality of it is that guess what? Peep this. Here's the weird part about this, and I believe this. That same situation, if I resisted it and I went home and I told my old lady, hey baby, you know what, we need to talk. All right, hey, it's been 4 months. We ain't really, been doing anything. I wanna sit down and have this conversation with you because I'm really not happy in the space that we're going in. And I really seen a glimpse of that when I went to the gym. I went to the gym and I seen this attractive woman and she was willing to do whatever I wanted right then and there. And I told her no. You wanna know what that woman is going to do? She's gonna focus on the fact that I went to the gym and that
well, her first question was, how you know she gonna do whatever you want her to do?
She's gonna go off the deep
Yeah.
end. So now our conversation is no longer about the fact that we haven't been intimate anymore. Now our conversation is about because now you think that I didn't really went and slept with this
Wait,
chick.
hold on, tell me.
You can
Wait,
choose a
hold on,
way to
wait,
not
but,
have it.
Thank you, like,
It's all in the way
it's
you
how
say
you
it.
framework that. So you
Fuck that.
well, wait, no,
No,
even
I'm
if,
listening still. I'm
Let
still
me say
listening.
something, let me say it. Because you could have said all of that shit directly, not massaging anything.
I didn't massage anything.
I'm saying, like, how I'm about to say that you should have said it and how she could focus on
I
it.
was okay with what he was saying.
That's
Yeah,
fine
that was-
with it, but he's talking about the woman that's going to focus in on that. You know you got that woman that's gonna focus
With
in on that.
selective hearing.
Like, you know what type of woman you have. If you know your woman ain't
But
understanding,
look,
You
don't
know
focus
why
on
that is.
What I want to talk about though.
but
all
no,
that
just
happened
leave that
is-
part out then. That's for him to know that he would choose her anyway. So that's for him to
That's
know.
really what
That
I want her
ain't
to
for-
see. I want her
But
to see
see,
that I was willing to choose
but
her.
that's
But that's
creating-
because she's not.
She doesn't need it. What you need to know is that she would naturally choose you, not when her back is against the wall.
Oh my God.
That's still setting yourself up for a problem, because then you can get to thinking that the only reason why she's now about to give me some is because she knew another shorty was about to. Like, you're not setting it up for an authentic response from her.
Yeah, it's
She could
almost
choose
like
you without
trying
that
to guilt
bait.
me into doing it.
I'm not
with
guilting you into shit.
But that's
I'm
not
just telling you what
feel.
transpired throughout my day.
And that's cool. I'm glad you was given that lesson to see that you don't want to throw our relationship away in that way. But don't think that you now come home and haven't.
I'm not trying to
Address
get none in
any
this
other
moment.
thing.
What did I say? Key words in that, and what I said was, this is how I found out. This is what happened today.
Well, you need a different type of woman to have that conversation with, because if it's the shorty that's just going to now go
I
ape
don't think
shit,
she
'cause-
would just focus
but
on
wait,
it. Like
that was-
personally, I
that was
think
the
that's a good
end.
way to come about it. But
is that
the
not
way
how you
took-
ended your original scenario? Is that she's going to focus in on the fact of it was a girl willing to
I,
give us
be-
a
I
pussy.
believe that a lot of women, no matter how you come at them, the minute you say that there was another woman involved, even if you turned her down, she's going to focus in on the fact that there was another woman involved.
it's gonna make her self-conscious, cause
Yes.
we've always been put against each other.
And
I
that's,
don't deny that it will probably be an argument of some sort because she is gonna have.
and I don't know how much she's going to believe that I did not take the bait. Like, that's my concern. My concern with a lot of women today is that I'm concerned, even if a man was 100% honest, and I'm not validating, I promise you I'm not validating cheating. But even if he was 100% honest about what transpired, she's going to zone in, talking about the life we're in today. She's going to zone in on the fact that nigga did that shit.
But that's because we're so used to that not happening.
Okay.
Had that been a thing, had that always been a thing, like cheating has always been a thing, then we would be prepared, like, hey, if he said that he turned her down, I got it. But we're so used to, hey, babe, or we go through a phone, or we
But
see
what
it on
have I
social
did-
media
what have I
that
did
they
to ever
cheated.
make you feel like in this relationship, what did I ever do in that relationship to make you feel as if I would ever would. You're bringing past shit to a current situation.
No. I'm not talking about past relationships. I'm saying in general in life. If our mamas and our great grandma,
Still past shit.
but you missing what I'm saying. I'm not saying. I'm saying we're more used to cheating than we are that open conversation of you telling us before. No matter if you never dated a day in your life, if you look at everything around the world, we're used to seeing cheating, not the open conversation. If we get used to the open conversation, and as women learn how to be emotionally intelligent, if he's saying he ain't doing it, you either trust him or you don't. It's one or the other.
And it's the security, and it's also the what have you really made the culture in your relationship? Like, do you often come to me to talk about things? Like, do we have that type of relationship? Because it wouldn't be weird for you to come to me to have that honesty if we
started off
often.
like that, yeah.
Because that certain like the security would be there. Like I would trust that
If you
wouldn't-
telling
I
me
wouldn't
this, you're
really be
being-
looking for you to do something like
You're
But
being
it-
vulnerable and honest with me, so I'm gonna
Then
take
puts
that
us in a whole
in
nother
and
spot.
address.
That puts us in a whole nother spot of a communication barrier. But let's just say hypothetically that everything is smooth. We communicate pretty decent. It ain't perfect, but it's decent. And I still come to you with that. Then I'm just concerned about the percentage of women that are gonna zone in on that versus, you know what, baby? I apologize. You know what I'm saying? We gonna try to work this out, make it better. What can we do to make this area of our relationship better? And not even zone in on the fact that situation even happened to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't have enough, I'm not confident enough in the woman that they're zoning in on the fact of making it right versus zoning in on the fact that I had a chance with another woman.
That's just bizarre to me, because if somebody, like, I'm in a relationship with somebody and they came to me about that, and I know things have been a little off in our relationship, that would have been the conversation to get
Like,
things
what do we
back
need
on
to do?
track.
How we get
Like,
back right? Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, so that you don't have to feel like you need to venture off or anything like that, or you're not feeling that lack anymore. But if somebody take offense to that, then I think that is when you will realize who you're actually dating and where you are.
Believe it or
On
not, a lot of
levels.
the female species would zone in on that part. They're gonna zone in on, damn, who was it? Blah, blah,
She
blah.
would have to
blah, blah,
realize
blah.
years later.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I actually
This
appreciated
is
that.
I mean, I feel like her feelings will be hurt regardless, but how she responds, like when your feelings is
Very
hurt,
important.
is important.
Very
Yeah.
important.
Right?
Cause it's like we say that happened to you, it doesn't stop from men being in her inbox. It doesn't stop men
No.
from doing any of those things. So it's just like you gotta remember anything that's happening on your end is happening on their end too. It is what it is. But you gotta trust that person to do whatever they need to do to make sure that they value y'all as a couple more than themselves as, oh, I can get attention from other people.
Okay, I agree with all of you. I agree with with what you're saying. I definitely agree with, the fact that certain conversations have to be had, and what you said, story on, it's a certain way to have conversations, but where I'm lost at is, if I gotta be authentically myself and communicate my feelings on top of considering your feelings and try not to hurt your feelings in the process, like, how can I be 100% all three of those?
I'm not being
How-
honest with myself if I
How
do
can
that.
I cater to both of us for a situation we on two different sides on? I feel like that would be complicated, and I can see the confusion for guys to feel like, okay, yeah, I'm in a space, I'm feeling a way, and I have to bring this to her, but I gotta find out what exact right words to say without her feeling like I already did it or I'm gonna do it anyway, and you give her the opportunity to have her reaction and her process. I don't even wanna say a reaction, but she's also gonna have to process your new reality. And how does that not translate into an argument? That's why I don't see. Cause I gotta let you process, and your process might be a little rocky,
Yeah.
cause this is new for you, right? This is new, although I done came to you honest in the best way I can, it's new for you, so you're gonna be like, taken back and a little frustrated that I gotta process another person in a monogamous relationship or a sex issue or whatever issue. I gotta process that and in a timely manner.
Mhm.
That's like a lot of factors in.
But you would just have to
not
do it.
being-
You would have to do it in your experience and like accept the fact that you two are two different humans. I think like in certain relationships it becomes like an ownership, like you said earlier. But in this situation, you would truly see that we are two individuals. Like, we do have two different journeys going on, and if we do want to do this together, we have to really appreciate the fact that we will be in different spaces at different times, especially if we haven't been equally putting in the work to satisfy one another. Because it's to the point that you're looking at other people now, but you realize you don't want to risk anything.
Right.
So you're still here and we're having this conversation to get our relationship back elevated.
And then also I think, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like personally women tend to do that more. So we don't look at it as a chore to make sure that what we say is the right thing to not bruise his ego, because we're used to that. I'm not gonna say, hey babe, I'm not gonna be like, hey babe, why don't you start pumping my gas, because this man at the gas station got out of his car and pumped my gas and it made me really feel good. No, we'll be like, babe, I think it'd be real nice if, you know, you pump my gas, or have you ever thought about pumping my gas? I kind of, you know, like the ideal of it. We'll explain it like that and never say the whole thing, because I'm not gonna tell my man that some other man pumped my gas. Like, that's just not,
like,
in our mind, it doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna put him in that position to be like, who the fuck was this? Like, you know?
I respect that. But like how you said that we have more of the cheating aspect versus the open conversation aspect, that's new, right? The open conversation is new.
Yeah.
Just like having communication is new.
Yeah.
Period. You know,
Podcasts
just
are
being
booming now
honest with
because
yourself,
communication is
honest
popping.
with your partner, honest in any aspect is new for our community. So now that it is new, we don't know the new structures that we can benefit from. Like, for example, you know, I've never exercised this, but I would see if I was in one of those positions, as far as, let's say, the cheating situation, no, because that's our deal breakers in our marriage, but like a sex situation or a financial, something that we can have a solution for, and say we don't have a solution for, I would rather adapt the idea, let me propose this problem to you, and, you know, if we can't talk right then, whether you say, hey, yeah, let me process that, and I say, well, process that, or let me finish processing that, I would hope to come back in 30 days, or 2 weeks, a week, in whatever time frame that we done process, whatever, and then now, do we have a solution before you got upset, before I get upset? Is there a solution? That hasn't been exercised, but I can see a benefit in that if we gotta do the big fight and show before we come back in 2 weeks and say, hey, what I was really trying to say is such and such and such and such. Can I propose this to you and we take a step back and do it? Like shit, and like a real obstacle. Like today, I was upset earlier about her and I making a decision together, and it was complicated. We both had no solution for the thing. But then as soon as we out of each other's presence, I'm thinking of all these different things, like, fuck it, that ain't that bad. I could just do this and I could do that. And I was realized thinking, I'm screenshotting, making my whole list of how I want things to go, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go order this stuff and then and put it up, and I'm gonna be comfortable. And I said, no, fuck that. Let's see if she like it. You know, because when I left the car, I said, you know what, you make whatever plans you want. Whatever you decide, then fuck it. I don't care no more. Since we can't make a decision together, you make the plans, I'm cool with it. But then I said, what, no, because now you're taking the whole aspect out of us
Doing it
designing
together.
this place together, us remodeling something together. These things we haven't done together as wives. So you're about to lose that opportunity to do that because you're irritated because you don't have a solution today, right now. You know what I mean? And then it wasn't even much time in between that I came back and was like, well, shit, I like the look of this. Let's see if she liked the look of this. It was like maybe 2 or 3 hours. What if it just take that time? You know? And then you go back and say, hey, you know, like that's, although in between conversations should have definitely been had, like, hey, sorry for the attitude earlier.
Right.
Here's, you know, whatever. But that time was necessary for me to calm down. You get what I'm saying? And it wasn't even a big situation, a big obstacle, but imagine it being a big obstacle. You're gonna need some time to process. That would, I mean, I'm frustrated over light fixtures. You get what I'm saying? So imagine somebody having to process something that can end the relationship. Yeah. You're gonna need time to come back and say, hey, you know what? Okay, I see, you might have had some needs that I wasn't meeting. How can I better assist you on that? Or our connection ain't really there. I would love to be where we used to be, but our connection ain't there. Is there any way you suggest we could work on it, and or I suggest these things, and let's see if this works. We haven't tried those things within communication. We just busy saying we gotta communicate.
Yeah.
You know how to communicate? If you know how to communicate, we communicate. But
And ain't
how-
communicating
You don't
because you're
comprehend
scared of
you
those
got
conversations.
comprehension, if you don't have comprehension on what you're trying to communicate and somebody's communication level, because they might not be where you are. You get what I'm saying? But it's necessary. I mean, number one, necessary on fixing all of those things. So I would rather we adopt something like that versus who can get madder fastest and who got the biggest part. You know, because that's where
Communication
our
skills are
argument
very
becomes
hard.
is, oh, he said, she said, and now we're not even mad about what we're mad about. We're mad at how we handling each other.
Now I'm mad because you yelling
I'm
at me.
You done told me I'm stupid. I done told you,
Yeah.
I don't care about you. You done, now we talking about what you ain't doing right and
What
shit,
happened
well,
last time?
now you trying to hurt me. Now we
It's too
trying to go below the belt because
Yeah.
that's where the argument has gone, when we should just be like, this is what we're looking at, and let's step back and come back, because it's always you and I against the problem, not a problem between you and I. Because this unity we can't break. This unity, we said we were gonna go through life together. So my bullshit is your motherfucking bullshit. My confusion is your confusion. So why we're putting that in between us when we gotta look at the problem at hand? Now that's a relationship. But we will understand that completely within a friendship. You get what I'm saying?
If we can even do that.
If he desired, which would probably be a hard conversation to have, but you would be like, hey, whatever. If he wanted a male co-host, say, Blaq, what you think of me adding such and such person, or what you think of somebody else coming on? Might be complicated, but what you need?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? What is it? Are we trying to go for a new direction? You need another perspective? Are we gonna add another? It will be a conversation, but that can be had. You can't go home and say, hey, babe, think we can add another man in? You can't say, oh, you not, whatever. You get what I'm saying? Another person, and you can't have that. But we friends, right? And we can't hurt each other in that way, or we're not worried about ending our relationship. And a relationship that involves sex is always some type of way to end that motherfucker.
And see, I'm not
And we're
concerned.
most intimate here. You get to see me
Right.
naked. You can give me a disease. I can give you a disease, but I can't bring this to you. But we can share anything.
And see, I'm like that with everybody now. Like, the way I am with my friend is the way I'm gonna be with everybody now. Meaning, I just refuse to not be me.
That takes time.
That
You did.
That takes
I'm-
time.
I'm going-
A lot of
I'm
people
going
don't
to-
know themselves.
I remember
Yeah.
sugarcoating life for the sake of other people's
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah.
I remember,
Some people.
letting somebody else happiness be my happiness. I remember being in situations where that just was more important than having a tough conversation. Baby girl, you ain't.
Or somebody go around certain
I'm
people and
sorry,
act like
I'm
that
sorry,
person.
shorty, I made a mistake.
Like,
you
have
know.
you ever been around somebody like that? That they act like who they're around.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
every time
There's a
they
lot
go
of people
around,
like that don't even know
they
that.
go around somebody different all the time.
Right.
It's like, dang, I've seen so many different sides of you. They don't even know who they are for real.
Right.
They don't know how they feel about stuff. They don't know social issues that they actually care about. It's just whatever everybody else talking about.
And that's because we just got so many followers, and if you don't have your own identity, it's easy for you to adopt
Yeah.
somebody else's. Like, especially with social media, you got 1,000 pages. You can go through a million pages right now and say, "Ooh, I like that, I like that."
Like, oh
Shit,
wow,
I
she cares about that. I care too.
I hate when I do something. I'm sure you get it all the time with your look. When I do something, somebody say, "I was just gonna do that." No, you wasn't.
I hate when they do that.
You know how many people got in my inbox said, "I was just gonna dye my hair that color." No, you wasn't. You wasn't. You ain't even. You wasn't.
Because if you was, you would have did it.
You
Suppose
didn't
that.
do it. And now you got an ideal, and that's fine. But I genuinely hate it, because it's like, yes, it's okay to be able to influence people, but when you can't have your own identity, it's just like, well, I told myself, fuck it, shave it. Let's see if they catch that. But why I gotta think that, to have my own individual identity, I gotta think, fuck it, let's do,
Yeah.
see if they can. And then I'm like, no, I'm not gonna compete with these motherfuckers that wanna look like me. Just look like me then.
Yeah.
Until you figure out what the fuck you wanna look like, And that's just our world. We got a world of followers, and
Yes.
it's annoying on both ends.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
They
literally,
start wearing what you wear, talking how you talk, saying the same thing.
Soon as
Listen,
if
I
I
don't
have
like
friends like
something,
that. Like people come
I
around
don't
me,
know
all
how
of
to
a sudden they listen
Yes, you
same
do.
music.
Somebody see your face and be like, oh, I'm gonna get a dermal. I don't know how many men I done seen now with dermal. When you start doing that? When the fuck you start? What happened to your little teardrop tattoos? What happened to that? Now look at you. Look at just like Dion. How?
They
How?
start doing everything
How?
the same.
When you first seen him, you was like, oh shoot, that boy got. Now all of a sudden you want it too. What happens in your psyche that said, when I want something, like honestly, dead serious. I like that scar because of the filter on TikTok. You remember the scar? That scar filter. I was like, oh, I'd be fired with it. But as soon as I seen you with it, I can no longer want it. It's not for me no more. You get what I'm saying? I can't do it. It just fucks with me. It be like, no, you have your own identity. And what is that? Understand we can all like the same things, yes. But I can't stand looking just like somebody. I remember my mom used to make Zari look just like me. Oh God.
Yep, all the time.
I'm
know
like,
what
I'm
she
7
went through.
years older than her. Why I wanna be twins with somebody 7 years younger than me?
Exactly. It was keeping her
And
in a
it's
certain
already
time
hard
period
enough
for
for
no
me to
reason.
look my age. Now I look her age. What the fuck?
Yeah.
How? You get what I'm saying? Or unless you trying to make her look my age and now we both fucked. How? And why? You know, but that's just been me my entire life is wanting my own individual identity, and not only that, my understanding of things. And that's why I developed my friendships the way I did, because I wanted my own fucking shit. It don't have to be what you like or what you have, or what you even understand. Just know mine is like this. And that just amplified a whole world of love and respect. You know, because the same energy I can give you, I can give to my partner. The same energy I can carry my partner, I can carry with the world. You know, besides sex. But other than that, you should be able to communicate with anybody, comprehend everybody, want to support it in some way and aspect. If it's an exchange, that's fine, but that's our world. And we have to be an adult in that world to keep this world decent. Because what the society norm is to make us fucking diminish this place. This place is just going to shit if we take society's understanding and apply it to us. That's why we have something to talk about all the time, is because societies keep making rules that we can't logically follow.
I don't think society knows what their rules are anyway, but that's another
I
conversation.
can't wait to meet the motherfuckers so I can smack the shit out of them.
Final thoughts.
My closing thoughts would necessarily be that, like, we have our own right to have our own individual identity. If we want to have a Black community identity, that's fine, but it has to be something we can be ourselves in. It don't have to be you have to wear blue today, green. It don't have to be like that. It has to be a collective understanding of things, and not necessarily wrapped up on mess, stress, and sex. We got real things we can be discussing. We got real problems we need solutions for. We still gotta survive this fucking massacre out here, and we're talking about somebody's relationship. I feel like we behind the curve. If we talking about some bullshit, some shit that ain't gonna elevate us, we missing a shot anyway. We missing it all the way. So that would be my closing thoughts. So put your energy in better places.
Communication will solve a lot of our problems. I get it. Sounds cliche. I'm pretty sure I've said it 1,000 times, but it's real. The communication, like, so back in the day we used to have, teachers used to say, oh, Dion reads on a 6th grade level, or Dion reads on a 12th grade level. Our communication is on a 3rd grade level, I feel like, as a whole. We don't know how to do it, or we do know how to do it, but we don't do it effectively. What does effective communication looks like? Being transparent, being honest, walking a thin line of caring about a person's feelings, but getting your point across. It's a thin line. That's what it looks like to me. And I don't think as a whole, we really do a better job at it. So I would challenge you all, at least for this week anyway, to whatever relationships that are important to you, try to communicate effectively in them, because it's important, and because it's a major reason why we're so behind the curve in the Black community. It's not because we lack anything. It's more so because we lack the decision to wanna communicate with each other. And the only time we wanna communicate with each other is when it's something mess, stress, sex.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like, if we wanted to talk about sex, we could communicate all day long.
Mm-hmm. And have a party doing that.
Right, but if we wanted to talk about, you know, how to get this business to be a better business, it'll be a 10-minute conversation.
Yep.
Because that's not people's focus. So let's try to do that. Let's try to communicate effectively and better towards each other. Feelings shouldn't be a thing in communication, that's my opinion.
That'd be nice.
That's just my opinion. I know some people will say, hey, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I think it's bullshit, to be honest with you. I'm gonna say it however I feel it should come out, because I need to clear my own conscience before I even think about trying to clear yours. I don't wanna be bound to trying to massage things for other people, but then I'm never free.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to think about. Other than that, I'm out.
Challenge accepted. See you next week.
All right, peace out.